Okay, welcome back to season.
Hello. Season 2, episode 2. Right.
Season 2 episode.
Nothing will be the same. No fear, no shame, no tears. Nothing but love in here. Me and my dukes, we came.
Today we want to talk about family.
Right.
We're a family here, and let's just talk about a few,
Let's get into
What
some
about
family things.
Where we starting at?
Where we starting at? Okay, I can go with that. Let's see. Okay, let me ask, what does family mean to you?
Family?
Yeah.
Family to me means like a group of people who have your same interest. They want to see you do good. Who have your back. You got their back. And it's like, y'all all is just, I don't know how you explain family. It's more of like a feeling, like,
Yes, that's
like,
a good feeling.
you know somebody loves you. You know somebody is in your corner. Like, without a doubt, you know this person is like, okay, they got my best interest. If I was to go somewhere and they need to sign something for me or they need to do something for me, they not finna try to betray me in any way. They're gonna do it how they think I would do it. Like, they have your best interest at heart. That's how I feel like.
Yeah, and I feel like
family
sorry.
does.
I keep family is not blood related. I feel like for the most part it is, but on occasion sometimes
it can be.
It can be, and it's those people like Jonathan said who have good intentions in heart, and family isn't afraid to tell you things that might hurt you for the better, knowing that it's gonna make you better in the long run.
Shut up, Daniel.
People who aren't afraid to lost what I was saying.
No, it's Daniel. Every time he's sitting next to me, this happened in season 1, and I forgot
Episode
that you're
1?
not supposed to be sitting next to me. Like, no.
All right, me.
Okay, go.
So, family.
Oh, my bad, Jasmine. I'm so sorry.
No, I
We can come back to
completely lost
you.
my train of thought. So I see family, like they said, it's not always blood related. I just see it as willing to give their last to you, and just being together through thick and thin. And that sounds cliche, but that's what it is to me.
Yeah, for sure.
And they support you no matter what it is. If it's good for you, of course. Yeah.
Asking what family is that's a deep question.
Yeah,
like, it's hard to think about.
It's a thinker.
Family is, for me, family is love. Family is support. Family is
oneness.
It's not somebody that's gonna always have your same mindset, but it's always somebody that's gonna have the same end goal for you, right? The same end goal. We all want to be someplace in life. You feel me? We all want to be successful. We all want to be happy. And then family is the people that come with you or come and join you to get you to your goals, or just make sure you're good.
That was the best one.
I think when I think about family, I think of
Daffodils and
nice
tulips and roses.
No, when I think of family, I think of support. I think of love. The biggest thing I think about, though, when I think of family, is loyalty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch or a group of people who is loyal to, like you said, Daniel, the same end goal for your life, which is, which is goodness. I think of support. I think of loyalty. I think of sacrifice.
Yes.
I think of good times, bad times. I think it's a combination of so many different things. But at the end of the day, I think is... I cannot. Do I not want to? At the end of the day, I think it has a lot to do with love, the bottom line, and love carries you through all these series of things. And it doesn't have to be, like you said, it doesn't have to be the same DNA. It could be somebody. It could be, you can find family outside of your biological family, right? So I think family is...
Love transcends.
Yeah.
I see family, for me, I'm sorry. I see family as like a big tree. We all have different roots, but we all come back to like one source.
That's good. Yes, that's good.
That's a nice one.
Girl, what you doing over there? There's a tree with lots of different branches, and they might go in different directions and spread out in different ways, but they are connected to the same story. Girl, going on. That's a wrap. It's nothing else. She shut the whole thing down on that one, right? So my next question will be, how do you make it through, or how do you stay connected through the thick and thin?
Ooh, that's a good one.
or the ups and downs. And when I say ups and downs, it could be within your own family, like how do you go past or move past conflict in your family so that you can stay committed and stay rooted.
I think for me it would be it's a whole combination of different things. I think patience, trust, those are all the things that come to my head when I think about it. And it's like being humble, being able to
Look past it.
look past what somebody else has done, and sometimes you have to put your pride to the side.
Yes.
Even though you weren't the one that did something, you have to be able to reach out and say, "Hey, I'm sorry that this happened."
Yeah.
And
I do that a lot with you.
okay, and you got to be willing to love somebody enough to want to have that relationship back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the key things, key components.
I think just like how you said, you got to be intentional. I feel like with the ups and downs, with the good and the bad, you always, first of all, you call somebody family. You call them family for a reason, right? We all know you could be born into a family and all of that stuff for real, but that's not really what keeps it a family. You feel me? That's not what it is. What keeps a family is the reason why you call them family, or the love, what's behind it. Everybody that got a reason why they call somebody family, right? And I feel at the end of the day, when you're going through those downs or those bad parts, those thins, you always come back because you always got to remember why you started calling them family in the first place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where that love came from. And then it's loyalty. We talk about loyalty. Loyalty don't go astray when you go through one bump or something.
Yeah.
You got a disagreement. Loyalty don't fold like that. Loyalty is strong. It don't bend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I was about to say something now. I can't think about it. Oh, I was about to say forgiveness. When you were talking, Jasmine, that's what came to my mind, forgiveness. Being able to walk in forgiveness. And I think the most important thing that would get you through the ups and downs is remembering that you're not perfect. So if you're not perfect, you can't expect somebody else to be perfect. That would be very hypocritical, right? So if you don't walk in the sense of perfection and expecting people to be perfect and always get it right, knowing that you're not perfect and you're not always going to get it right, and at some point you're going to want forgiveness from this person, you got to be willing to give it as well.
I might be a little perfect, just a little bit, but just a little bit.
Okay.
That shows the imperfection right there. Just for you to...
Perfectly imperfect.
That's right. So so I think working through it and having, like you said, that foundation of why are we here, why are we family, which leads me into the next thing that kind of aids or helps you through the ups and downs is, as an individual, each and every one of you, do you feel like family is negotiable?
What do you
Depends on how you mean.
What do you mean?
Context.
Elaborate.
Okay. In having conversations with different families over the past year and stuff, especially with young adults, I have found myself in a situation where I would ask them, how important is your family? Is it a negotiable or non-negotiable for you? Like, do you feel like you can live without your mom or your dad or your sister or whatever? Because that says everything about where these future conversations or counseling sessions is going to go. Because if you don't feel, like for me, family is not negotiable. I have to have my family. Yeah. That is something. It doesn't matter what we go through, we will have to just work it out. Right. Yeah. So when you come with that mindset, you approach whatever problems you're going through differently, right? Because you're like, okay, we got to make it work. So we might as well just figure out how we can make it work, right? But if it's negotiable for you, if it's one of those things where you're like, then your approach towards conflict is different.
Yeah.
I feel like... Oh, sorry. You go ahead, Daniel.
Nah, go ahead.
I feel like, for me, family is a non-negotiable. Like, I just keep thinking back to when we were in our small little apartment. In our little apartment, and there's this feeling, like, of warmth that I don't think I could do without. Like, we're all so close, and I was about to say something else.
We all rely on each other.
We all rely on each other, and there's a lot of things in life that I went through that I don't think I would have been able to get through without the counsel of the older people in our family, like
It's a village.
the village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I also feel like family is not negotiable. Like it come back all the way back to the foundation where we say loyalty. If you can negotiate your family, then you wasn't loyal
You're
in
not
the
loyal,
first
no.
place. That's
Yeah.
not no loyalty. I don't care what situation it is, how bad we done fell off, we could have fought and all of that. But at the end of the day, we got to get back right. We been here. We established this for a reason. If I'm gonna call myself loyal to my family, then I got to keep putting effort into this one thing because I already. It's what it was. You feel me?
Yeah, and now I am gonna say this. We say that with within the realms of norm, normal.
Yeah.
What is normal? When we say you fight for your family, when we say we're going to fight for each other, we're going to stay with each other within the realms of normal. We're not talking about an abusive dad, a dad abusing his daughter sexually or any other way wise. We're not talking about things that are outside of the norm that cause and inflict extreme hurt on people. We understand walking away from situations that just harm and hurt you.
Always
That's
going to be
toxic,
exceptions. In any situation, there's always going to be
There are always going to be
exceptions.
exceptions. So, I just want to clear that up for someone who's listening and is like, oh, I walk away from my family, but it was because X, Y, and Z. That's completely understandable. We're talking about within the realms of norm. We're talking about fighting over a car, fighting over a will, or food. We're talking about just the simple things that people tend to walk away from, a misunderstanding. You said something or hurt my feelings. You disrespect me. You tried me.
Yes, that's another point.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to be open and honest with each other, not hide how you feel, because in a lot of times that miscommunication is what leads to the division. And someone is thinking one thing and the other person is thinking the other thing, and nobody knows what both of them are thinking because nobody's talking.
That's facts too.
Right.
You also got to remember, family is a relationship just like any other relationship is.
Yes.
Right? And just
It's
like how you got a
foundation.
girlfriend, a husband, a wife, or whatever it is, and you got to build on your relationship with them, you also got to build on your relationship with your family. And that's also what
It all
makes
starts
it
in
an
the
unbreakable
family.
bond. You got to work on that relationship too, like you would work on anything else.
Yeah, and if you have to work on the trust in relationship with family, like sometimes you might say something, I might say something, or you might do something that we didn't agree on. Trust is broken. You have to work back to it. You have to forgive each other. You got to love each other. You got to make sacrifices for each other. And I feel like if you really get into the whole concept of loyalty and working with your family through things, it makes it so much easier when you get into a relationship. Because you've already built that muscle of working for something and going into something with a commitment of, we're gonna make this work.
Yes. I was thinking about it the other day. Like, I feel like when me and Jasmine start dating, it's gonna be a lot easier. Because I just heard mommy say, because
Just breathe.
me and Jasmine already I feel like me and Jasmine kind of already would know how to deal with certain situations.
Because we exercise that.
Because we exercise it. We know how to talk to each other. We know how to communicate and
work through disagreements and small
I
problems
lost my
and
train of
stuff.
thought.
That's the reason they're twins.
That's
They
for
speak
sure.
each other's language.
That's facts. A lot of the things, a lot of the situations, and a lot of the situations that we go through in life can be taught and learned, and how you can see how to get through them in the household, in the family.
Yes.
Way before they actually pop up in real life, you could see that.
Yeah, that's what builds you as a character too. So when you go outside, you go to other places, and you have that experience to know or you've been through problems, or you have this problem solving thinking mind in your head, so you know how to do stuff different than a person that has no family. That's why as humans, I feel like everybody is built to have a family.
Yes.
That's facts.
That was
As
God's
humans-
intention.
As humans, we need people. I don't care who you are. We all need people to
Hold us accountable.
exactly hold us accountable and make us feel loved, make us feel like we have a
Safe,
purpose.
protection,
Even there's sometimes in everybody's life when they feel like, oh, I'm not doing enough, or I'm just, what am I doing, or blah, blah, blah. And it's your family or it's the people close to you that speak that what's
That's
the word?
tough and pull
speak
you
that,
through.
speak that, exactly.
That's
Speak
right.
that
Yeah.
positivity over your
Yeah.
life, and like,
Yeah.
no, you don't think like that. Don't think like that. I see it in you. I see it in you. They always push it in you. So it's like even when you forget, sometimes they're
there to get
always
your
still on
back.
top of you, telling
Right,
you, like,
reminding you.
Yeah, reminding
reminding
you.
you.
And we're all different people, and we're all going into different paths and walks of life. So we all come with a different understanding, a different knowledge, different experiences. So whenever one of us is falling in an area, there's
The other
all of
people,
us
to pick
Yeah.
you
to
up.
speaking to you and give you advice based on what they've been through and the experiences that they've dealt with.
Yeah, and to remind you of yourself. Like, there's nobody else in the world outside of your family that have seen you from
Yes.
baby all the way
Yes.
up, right? And when you begin to lose yourself, that person in your family could come back and say, I know
I
you.
know beyond a shadow of a doubt.
I know
Yes.
when you were X, Y, and Z. I know you before you knew yourself, you know, or I grew up with you. I seen you. I seen your growth. I seen you develop. I know who you are at your core, because sometimes we find relationships outside of our family that they don't really know us at our core,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
They
And
only
know
just
you.
met us.
right, they just met you a year or two, and they want to be a best friend, or they want to tell you, oh yeah, you can do that thing, you should do this, or you should do that. Well, you don't. How much do you know me? Like, how much equity do you have in this
Yeah,
relationship that you can tell me I can deviate from everything that my family has instilled in me? You know what I'm
At the
saying?
On a
same
hive
time,
mind.
Yeah.
at the same time, there still is those relationships that come and they 2, 3, 4 year relationships, but they still those friends that you call your family now still have your best interest at heart and still will
Yes.
guide you through your tough times and your best times.
Well, we're not talking about them because they become family.
yeah, they become family. Yeah,
So they know you too. You know what I'm saying? They know you. And even with that, yes, they know you. But there's something comforting of a family that you've always been connected to.
Day ones.
that's
You
facts.
know, your day ones. There's always something more comforting. And God is always going to bring people along the way.
Yeah.
New people to develop you in new ways and new areas and challenge you beyond certain points. Because to be quite honest, as much as I can challenge you guys, there's still a love and a protection, you know, there. So somebody else might come and push you further than
Yeah,
I
then
may,
you-
because
yeah.
I may want you to stay within a certain confines because I
Yeah.
want you to be safe. So somebody else may come and push you, you know, past those confines. But there's still strength and so much power and love in the people that watch you grow and groom you and help you and supported you along the way. So with that being said, I had a next question. Have you guys ever wished you were in a different family?
Oh yeah.
I never did.
You never did?
Never
Oh my
wished I
gosh,
was
that's
in a
good to
family.
know. I never did either. I never
The only
wanted to
reason
be.
I
I
like-
wanted the same family. I never wanted other
Yeah.
kids, except for Daniel. Maybe a time or two I want to kick him out of family, but I'm just playing.
There was, of course, times where I was mad, but like, I've never wanted to be part of a different family because I felt like our background itself, I just love like the way where we come from the islands, and it's just like all the stuff I've been exposed to just because we've been from the islands and all the different things, all the different way of life of how to do things like growing up with daddy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Like
that was
showing, that was really interesting because he was from a
Yeah.
different culture, so it's like, but you learn things too. You learn more.
You have a different outlook.
Yeah, you have a different outlook on life, on how people here have it. So that's what I've always took for granted. That's what I always liked about it because I see more things, and the way I've been exposed.
Right.
People out here haven't been exposed. Not a lot of people out here have been exposed to different things. So it's like you see different things. So
Yeah.
that's what I liked about it.
Me being honest, because that's what we are doing
Yep.
here. Open and transparent. I definitely have wished
Me
that I
too.
was in a different family. This was when I was younger. When I was
Right.
12, 13.
When you were being told to no.
Yeah. No. And not even that too, but also I would go over to my friend's house and see how their parents interact with them, and her parent lets her do this and do that, and she never tells her mom this, and her
Yeah.
mom never tells her no, and everything. And it's just, I saw, looking back on it now, it was organized chaos. But
Wow.
here in this house, now that I'm older and I went through what I went through, I can see everything she's telling us, or everything that our parents are telling us isn't because they want to be the bad guys, because they know what's around the corner, and they know
facts for sure.
yeah, they know what doing what we're doing is gonna have what effect
It's gonna
that's
lead
have
us,
on
yeah.
Yes, I feel like me and Jasmine, we kind of lived the same life because we had the same friends and we've pretty much been together for most of our life. So
All your life.
yeah. But so yeah, there were times when I think we're both talking about the same instances where we wish we were in different family because they looked like they were having a little bit more fun.
More fun, yeah. They were more free.
Yeah, but I realized freedom
overrated.
Is overrated in a way. Like,
no, it's good to have freedom, but also good to have boundaries at the same time.
Our family, they taught us how to have clean fun, and whereas our other friends, it didn't seem like the fun we were thinking about.
Yeah.
That's deep. I like that.
Yeah, I think everybody, when you're growing up and you can't have your own way and you can't have the things that you necessarily want when you want them, you feel as if you're being controlled, and that even happens today, in our walk with Christ. We feel like we should be allowed to do whatever we want, live whatever life we want to live, and we don't want to hold true to those boundaries, that God has set in place for us. And it comes back to the same thing. Anyone that's in a position of authority that have to hold people to boundaries, for the most part, they always seem like a bad guy, and people don't always realize the weight or the balance or what the people in authority is trying to protect
there for a reason.
They're there for a reason. They're pushing back against a lot of things that is coming to hurt you and impact you. They're standing in the gap and they're taking the heat. They're taking the force. You mad at them. The outside, the enemy mad at them because you're standing in the gap trying to protect them from certain things. So it's easy and it's an immature mind and it should be expected. I don't think I was ever like, oh, I'm offended because you want to be in a different family. I was never offended. It's like, I'll be surprised if you didn't feel that way because that's a natural part of growing up. That's a natural process to always, want to think that somebody has got it better than you if you can't have your own way. And if you don't learn or if you don't mature past that, you're always going to think that. As you grow, because what you tend to realize is there's always something else that's vying for our attention or is telling us that what we don't have is better. Until you realize.
Or until you get it and then you realize it's not what it's cracked out.
Exactly. Yeah.
And another point I want to make is nobody is perfect, and you got to realize
no family is perfect.
No family is perfect. Yeah, and you got to realize your parents and whatever you see, your parents aren't perfect. They're humans just like we are, and they're gonna make mistakes.
They're figuring things out too.
Yeah, and no family is better than your family, outside, with the exception of some things happening and terrible things happening. But nobody is like your original family, like your day ones. They know who you are and they know
they love you.
Yes, they love you beyond a shadow of a doubt, no matter what you do or what you say, and. You can't trade your family.
Right. And I want to say, come back to what you were saying about no family is perfect and your parents are learning. What you don't understand when you're a child is that your parent, the babies that your parent have, or if you like Danielle, for instance. Danielle was my very first time parenting. I didn't parent this with perfection. I just... Your parents are learning on the job is what I'm trying to say. Your parents are learning on the job. They're actually doing certain things by trial and error, so mistakes will be made. And even though I had Danielle and then I had Jonathan, completely different. And then boop, I end up with twins. Who knew how to handle that?
It's crazy.
So you're always going to be learning on the job in every phase. Like the first time you got a newborn, you're learning on the job. The first time they go to pre-K, you're learning on the job. When they go to middle school, you're learning on the job. When they go to high school, you're learning on the job. When they become adults, young adults, you're learning on the job. You're always learning. So the moral of the story is your parents are going to make mistakes because we always make mistakes when we learn, when we're learning. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
I gotta come back to me. I forgot.
So it's a learning. It's a learning process. You're learning. Your parents are learning. Everybody's learning, and the learning is easier when you can do it with grace.
Yeah.
You know, when you can have grace for each other. So one thing, unless Jonathan remembers what he was about to say, if you guys, in wrapping up this session, if you guys had to give advice to young adults or teenagers in families, and they just feel like, darn, I just wish I was in a different family for reasons within normal people, what advice would you give them? What would you say to them?
I'd say that nothing is ever as it seems.
Right.
That family you wish you were in, they
might
have their problems too.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're not perfect.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to accept your family and agree to disagree at times, and just don't take certain things for granted, basically.
Facts.
I would say be patient with them. Like Mommy said, they're learning and they're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. Just walk in love and love them regardless of how you feel, or regardless of what they did or what they said. Just be patient. It's a process. Everything is a process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, family is what you make it. You feel me?
Yes.
So if you catch something you don't like, it's where the communication come in.
Yeah.
Bring everybody together, talk about it.
Yeah.
Build that path, or build that if that you want to be.
Yes.
If you see something going on somewhere else, just easily, gradually start going in that
Trending
direction.
towards that.
It's easy to long for another family or want another family, but you can't just sit there looking through the window. You have to, if you want your family to be like something you see, you have to make an
Work for
effort
it,
to
yeah.
Take action.
work for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind that they always have your best interest in the end goal. Like they're not trying to make your life miserable. They're not trying to
Yeah.
not trying to
Hold you
beat you
down.
down, hold you down from the world. They're just trying to make you better. Like just like if you had a dog, for example, or just had a puppy, you don't want him doing certain crazy things. You don't want him jumping in the water when he don't even know how to swim and stuff like that. And the dog might think, oh, you're trying to take away my fun, but you're really just trying to protect them. So just
Because you see
kind of
things
think of
the
it
dog
like
doesn't
that.
see.
Yeah, you see your parents see things that you don't see. Kind of the same way you see things your dog doesn't see. They just want to go do stuff. But
You know, and we have an elder at our church that always say, it's a sorry frog that doesn't croak for his own pond. And basically meaning you're in a pond and you're hearing beautiful songs coming from the pond next door, but you won't croak in your pond. You know, you just want to go over there. What are you going over there for? So you can hear them croak and not be a contributor. So when you think about wanting to be in a different family, you see other families having things, they're working for the things that they have. They're putting in
fighting
work.
for it. You don't
They're
see that.
fighting. They're forgiving. They're walking in love. They're giving grace. They're working it out. They're talking about it. And you're over here having this desire for what they have, but you won't put it in where you are. So put the work in where you are and make your family what somebody else sees and want to be.
Yeah.
You know, you can always do it. Have conversations, communicate, and once again, sow that seed of forgiveness.
Yeah.
You know, sow that seed of forgiveness. So with that being said, I love you guys and I love my family.
I love y'all too, man.
So that is it for this episode. We are out and we will see you
We'll
next
see y'all
time.
next time, man.
Bye.
Hey, so that's it. Thank you for watching today's episode. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. New episodes drop Wednesdays each week. Remember to hit the notification button so you never miss when we post. See you later. Bye.